What does it take to create an abundant life? First off, and Christy really talked about what are the things that block you from creating for you? Because I'm a coach, so I'm an action step. I'm an action step person because the antidote to despair is action. The prescription for radical success is action. The difference between you and the person living their dreams that you're watching is simply the amount of action. It's not the hookup. It's not the family they were born into. It's not the gender. It's not the culture. Those are all great stories that we give it. But it really is the things they did and how much they were willing to do it. So I want to talk about that because when you look at my life is someone who did not ask for permission. My life is someone who gave notice. So I just came to find those few of you who are willing to give notice and stop asking for permission. Are you here? Yes? Yes? So I know my tribe, they're all like, yes, yes, tell them about the yes, yes, Lisa. Okay. We forget that there are people who are just meeting me. How many guys are just meeting me for the first time? Yeah. Oh, yummy. Put on your seatbelt.
So, y'all, this is the kind of stuff that I listen to
just so those of you who are just meeting me
on my downtime. This is why I don't have a TV in my entire apartment.
This year, there's less of me to
I
learn.
purposely do not have a TV. Now, it's about to start snowing and stuff here in Maryland.
So, like, that's not the lady that was on YouTube.
I might have to get a TV.
Yes,
I might have to get a TV for that weather. But I don't need one. You know, when you think about when you have a television in your house and you're probably sitting in front of it right now. And what do you do for most of the time? Flick through the channels looking for something to watch. So instead of flicking through the channels to look for stuff to watch, I flick through YouTube. Well, type, not flick really. I go to YouTube and I type in different things that I may know that I'm challenged in. Like, you know, at one point I know for a fact I lacked confidence because I would get extremely nervous when I would talk to people who were new people I didn't know. When I would talk to strangers, I would get extremely nervous. And because I knew that, I started looking up different lectures and YouTube books and YouTube audios and books and stuff on confidence. And then when I wanted to learn about how to meet new people, I started looking up stuff on communication and body language and, you know, how to start conversations with random people and stuff like that. I mean, I am nowhere near arrived at my destination, at my life's destination. But I can tell you guys that I am so far away from where I began. When I first started, when I was in corrections, like I didn't even realize that, like I would literally just go to work to show up and just make the check. Like I just did not even care. I didn't care how my uniform looked. I didn't care how people saw me. I didn't care about anything. All I knew was if I showed up and I didn't get fired, I would have a check coming. And it's a lot of people who are like that about their jobs. But the reason why you're like that is not because the job sucks. It's because the job isn't for you. It isn't fulfilling what you feel in your heart and your spirit that you could be doing with yourself. So really think about it. Like when I looked down into my future, I was just like, I didn't want to have to come into this place and, you know, or even let's start from the time I got to wake up. I didn't want to have to wake up, put the uniform on and come into that place and have to deal with the negativity that was around me. And, you know, they say that if you look at who your 5 closest friends are, you are the sum, your income is the sum total of your 5 closest friends. So, you know, like the wealthiest people that I've started to learn from always say that if you're the richest person in the room, then you need to leave that room. If you're the smartest person in that room, then you need to not be in that room anymore. And so think about it. All your friends are probably your coworkers. The people you go to for advice are probably your coworkers, people who are living similar lives as you. So when you think about doing like things that God put in your heart and in your spirit that you should move towards, you know, you go and ask for advice from people who've never done it. And then they give you bad advice because they are afraid of doing it. They are even afraid of even dreaming. I was listening to something the other day, and it was saying how when you're young, you know, at 19, 20, 21, you can ask any young guy at 21, what his life is going to be like. And he's going to say, oh, I'm going to have the big house, I'm going to have the fancy car. And then, by the time they reach 30, they have like that dream, those goals have, diminished. They are gone because they believe like life begins to happen. But you know what the message today was about in church is that, like God wants us to have all that we should have in life. He just wants us to wake up and to ask him to guide us towards it. He wants us to use all our gifts to be blessings to everybody. So not just making it all about you. It's not all about you. It's not about satisfying you. You are really most satisfied when you're doing things that God wants us to do. Like if you could only know, if you have never felt that tap on your shoulder or, that warm feeling that you feel when you know that you have done something that God wanted you to do, or you reacted in a way that you know that God would be pleased with. It's like, it's so much more gratifying than, reacting of the world, than, just doing everything else that everybody else is doing. Like, for instance, to talk about taking advice from people, right? I had a conversation with my father, and I have one parent who has never really had their own business until recently, until my adult life. And then I have one parent who had his own business all his life. I jump around a lot too, y'all. I didn't really write this out or plan it out. I just really wanted to talk with y'all. So with my father had his own business. He was fixing computers. He did cars, stereos. Hold on, Lisa. He did car stereos and everything, right? And he did that for most of my life. It wasn't until I think he just got a job for the first time, maybe like the last 5 or 6 years or something like that. But most of my life, he's always been self-employed and making money. Now, my mom, she's always worked. She never really looked into having her own business until like the last 5 or 6 years. So they kind of switched spots or whatever. But what I'm trying to say is, I told my father that a friend of mine was doing something. And my father said, well, that's his mistake from trying to do it, because my friend was working on his car himself. And my father was like, that's his mistake from trying to work on his car himself from the get-go. And I'm like, that's crazy how you would say that when, if you didn't ever take apart a computer, if you didn't never take apart the car, you would have never learned how to do those things. Like, we got to just go into the action of doing things to learn how to do them. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. If you feel in your heart that you want to do something, you do it. It's plenty of books and there's plenty of people out here who have done what you're thinking about doing. And here it is. My mom is my biggest encouragement. Like, she's the one introduced me to the industry. And, I talk to a lot of people. Hey, Joy. I talk to a lot of people, and some people, parents, are not encouraging when they want to start their own business. And the reason that they aren't is only because they have never had it. If they've never lived the life of having their own business, if they've never even driven a car, or if all they did was worked as cashiers, or they never even had a good job, how can they see the vision for you? So when you go and you talk to your family and your friends about starting a business, or you're marketing products, or you're starting a service or whatever, like, don't worry about it. Just do it. And just know that there are people out there who want what you have. There are people out there who will encourage you, who can lead you to the next step. Like, your goal every day has to be, what can I learn today that I didn't wake up knowing? And what can I do different today that I didn't do yesterday? I'm telling you. Like, I look at life as I'm not a millionaire, nowhere near it. You know what I mean? But with the way that I believe life works, with the way that God works, I could just stay in my path and work my path, and I could wake up in the next month and have $1 million about to be transferred to me because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm giving myself. I'm being a blessing to everybody who encounter me all the time because I just want to pass on what I didn't know. Like if I would have met somebody like me back when I first got started, I would have made a lot more money a lot faster because I didn't know. Like, I mean, I had mentors and everything, but oh yeah, Joy, I know I will be a millionaire. I have mentors and everything, but people can only teach you to the extent of their perspective. So if you signed up with somebody in one of these businesses and they didn't treat you right, or you didn't make any money, it's not because of the company. 9 times out of 10, it was just because they didn't know how to get you to the next level. They could only teach you to what they know. That's why they always say when I say they, I mean like successful people who have made a mark, who have made money, who are professional teachers. Like, there's plenty of people out there like that. I mean, we have Armand Puyol, our very own CEO in Vita Divina. You have everybody, or a lot of people have heard of, SW. I bet you somebody knows who it is. If you hear this and you know who SW is, type the name. Houghton Bugs. I should just say all initials because y'all would know. But there are a lot of people who you can look up to. There is great support here at Vita. Right. And so like if you've done something like this before and you didn't make any money, it's not because you weren't. The whole thing is with these companies, think about it. The jobs we work, we not really feeling them. Like you don't really want to be there. You don't really want to punch in. You don't really want to have to answer to anybody. Well, at least most people don't. At least millennials, and millennials, when millennials adapt to it, it's only because their parents are telling them that they should. It's a good job. You go ahead and you better work that and retire so you can get that pension. You don't want to let that pension go. But have a bigger vision. Show them where we are in 2016, hit it into 2017. Show them how times have evolved because of the internet and how you can have a global business just working from your phone because of the internet. Hey, Dashe. So don't be that person that quits on yourself because God got your back. I'm telling you, when you are, especially you can't lose when you helping people. I've seen so many people on my timeline in the hospital in the last 24 hours. Is crazy, and I'm just like, I can't make people. You could take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. And I wish that people would just believe in it enough to do the research because, when you find something, when something comes into your life, 9 times out of 10, it doesn't have to mean that it wasn't. Let me see. How do I want to put this? When something comes into your life, it could be God blessing you with what you need to get out of your situation. Whether it's your health is deteriorating, whether it's, finances, whether it's bad relationships. It's so many people that's just so lonely. Your spirit is lonely. And your spirit is lonely because you are blocking all the blessings that God is trying to give to you. God is trying to make sure that we know how to walk in a path of righteousness, how to live according to the word and not the world. And in order to do that, we got to have mentors and guidance and coaches in our lives. Like there are people who actually pay. Do you think that's the difference? And I'm realizing that I'm about to get me a coach too. I'm about to go ahead and find me a coach that I can drop $500 on to be my personal coach, because that's going to help me get to my million. And there are people that are paying for this. So if you could take whatever skills and information that you have and just get good in whatever area that you want to excel in, then there are YouTube videos and books on the topics, y'all. So don't settle. Do not settle for life. I have a friend, and may God rest his soul, and I just been thinking about him every day. I didn't post about it because I don't know what to say. I'm still in shock that he passed, and I mean, I didn't know him. He really alive, like, because when he started the job, I had just left, but he was a correctional officer, and I want to say he may have been in like his late 20s, early 30s, and and yeah, he passed away, and he passed away like a couple of days ago, maybe like a week ago or whatever. And I'm just like, he was so young. And I saw one of his YouTube videos. I didn't know this man wrote poetry and put it on YouTube. Like, I wish I could have talked to him. Like, that's one person that's gone that I wish I could have talked to. I wish I would have gotten to know him a little bit more, because maybe I could have been, somebody who could have told him information that he didn't know, that could have helped his life be a little bit extended. But I mean, I don't question God's work. Everything happened according to his time, of course, and everything happens for a reason. But you guys, come on. Like, don't take life for granted. Like, let's just make sure that everybody in our lives are aware of the fact that you can really live your dreams, that you really do have a purpose. I'm speaking to that person who may have felt like that they were I know at one point I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I felt like I was lost in the world, and then I met network marketing, and network marketing introduced me to personal development. Personal development made me realize how valuable I really am. And it's not going to be, so many people are looking for someone else to validate them, but when really the best person to validate you is God. Like, when everybody else is gone, when if you and your relationship split, if you lose your job, if you have God, if you know God and you have a connection and a relationship with him, regardless if you're in a church, I'm gonna be honest, like, I don't believe that you have to belong to a church to be the church. Like, we have Queens of Purpose that we're starting, and I believe that Queens of Purpose is a ministry within itself. For everything that we are aiming to do, you guys will start seeing it pop up. We'll start doing events and stuff where we're going to be empowering women. And once we get to these young women and we get to empowering these young women, it's going to help empower these young men, because we will be able to teach the women how to even be queens, so that the men can want to step up and be kings. It's like, it's so easy to just not live in it's so easy not to live in your royalty if all around you everyone is, or no one is doing so. So yeah, I appreciate everybody for getting on here and talking with me. Hey Brandy, hey Patricia, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm just going to keep developing myself, and the more I grow, the more I know, the more I share, and to everybody. So yeah, we're gonna have a photo shoot and everything. I'm so excited about the Queens of Purpose, and I gotta start posting more about that too. But most definitely, like, let's see, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, in church today they said you are already blessed. Okay, you are already blessed just where you are. And all you have to do is to begin to live it. You are already blessed. Just ask God to guide you. Ask God to guide you and show you what he wants you to do with your blessings. Show you what your blessings are. That is how I started. That is where I started. I literally said, God, I need you right now to just show me who I'm supposed to be, because I don't like who I am and I don't want to stay this person. And I appreciate my life. It's not that I was saying I didn't want to live, but I didn't want to live like that. So I was thinking that, what was I like when I first really reached out to God, like, to have a conversation with him, to say, bruh, I need you to help me. Father, I need you to help me. I was 24, and I was just like, oh my gosh, if I don't do something, like, I was a lesbian all my life. Well, from 18 up until maybe 24, 25. And I never really went to church. So I never really read the Bible ever. Never really picked it up. And I did not know that I was missing that relationship. I didn't know what it felt like to actually connect with God until I started going to church. But I don't believe that I to go to church to get the word. I believe that I need to be in the word. I believe that I need to read the Bible and understand the messages and make sure that I'm connected with God. Make sure I can hear him. If I can hear him and we can relate, just like I feel like I don't have to go to church to tithe. I believe that I could give back into the community by my way of giving back could be giving back through Queens of Purpose, starting a fund where we can help people who may, if someone family may pass away and don't have life insurance, we can help them. Or if someone is having a hardship, we can pull from the pot and help them. I believe that is the giving back to the church, because I believe that church is the body and not just the building. I do go to church because I do like the motivation and inspiration that comes from being in the atmosphere. Yes, indeed. So, yeah. Dashay, what you talking about? What's part of my story time to share? What you talking about? Which part? Because I said a lot. Y'all know if I don't write it down, I will jump around. But I love talking, so shoot. That's why, put me in a room of people where we can just sit and talk or, and powwow and throw around ideas. I got ideas for days. I have ideas for days. I love hearing people's ideas about what businesses they want to start, because I have plenty of ideas as to how to get it out there. Yes, Tanya, we are the church. We are. And that's why I love what we do with Vita Divina, because we are able to give people better health because of our products. And what better way to live your life than to be healthy, not having to be in the hospital and taking medication. Oh, 18 to 24. Oh, yeah. See how I jump around? But yeah, I was. And what changed for me though really was just because when I started going to church and just really, I guess, having conversations with God and just being aware of my life, I said well, I don't want to block my blessings of having a family one day because you don't remember because God had you share and you didn't even catch it. Right. But I didn't want to block my blessing of ever having a family because I stayed the way that I was. So I was like, well, I had to really, look at my life. I never had any bad experiences or whatever with men. So I said, well, I'll be open to at least being friends with them, because I wouldn't be friends with them at first because I was a correctional officer working around a whole bunch of stinky men, just really didn't tickle my fancy to even meet them outside of uniform. It was just I don't want to deal with you. I don't even want to talk to you. But then I realized that I just like ambitious men. I like kings. I am attracted to the man who reads. I am attracted to the man who seeks his fortune. I'm attracted to the man who pursues his purpose, who is ambitious, who does not settle for what his homeboy said as gold. Thanks, Dashay. I really appreciate you being on here talking with me and sticking on here this whole time and conversing with me and stuff. But yeah, I'm going to put my story together for real, Dashay. I'm going to put it together. Because it's so much more to it. It's so much more to it. Y'all don't so from leaving my job, I thought that when I left my job that I was just going to have it. I was just like, shoot, I got this. I know how to make money. Now that I done got some checks. When I left my job as a correctional officer of 8.5 years with the benefits, and I only had 10.5 years left to go before I could retire with their pension. I was just like, I got this. I can make money. I know how to make money. And then, so that first year, let me tell y'all, I probably didn't even make half my salary that first year that I left because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I didn't know. So, I am doing now. I'm doing it now. Yup, I sure am. I have totally began to make my salary without the job. And so, yeah. But I didn't know what I didn't know. So, Dashay. I am going to put my story together though. Oh, one thing they said in church today was a selfish journey will not lead you to God's destiny. So many people just think that they can't tell people stuff, and people are sneaky, people will steal your ideas, or nobody want to help you. That's not true. You just got to get around other people, quality people who have vision for life. I had one guy, would y'all believe it? When I was telling my coworkers I'm leaving, they thought I was crazy. I told everybody, because I knew I was leaving for probably 6 months before I left. And I was talking to people about my plan to leave. I had one guy really sad. He looked so sad for me. And he looked at me and said, when you first started talking, I thought that, I thought you knew, no, what did he say? When you first started talking to me, I thought you had it all down packed. But he was like, he said, no, no. Let me rewind. It was so long ago, y'all. It was probably like 4 years ago when this happened. But he said, you're looking at life through rose gold glass. That's what he said. I wasn't looking at life and being clear about what could happen. Now, this is a guy in his mid-40s that been in corrections for probably like 18 years or whatever. And he's looking at it as, I'm going to retire from here so I can get my pension. And then I'm going to go work security down John Hopkins. Y'all don't know how many people said that. But when he said that to me, that I was looking at life through rose gold glasses, like as if I didn't see life for what it is, I was just like, man, I thought I could help you, but you worse off than I thought. And I just walked away. I want people around me who are excited about life or who want to be excited. You can get excited about life. You can get excited about pursuing whatever it is you want to pursue. You can become whoever you want to become. I wish they had Facebook Live so I could make sure one of my old lives pop up so you can see who I used to be. But yeah, I just really wanted to get on here and talk to y'all for a little bit tonight. I'll be a bit more organized next time. I appreciate everybody for joining me, and I'm out. Going back to watching my video. YouTube. That is free. No student loans. When I do pay for it, it's gonna be because my income is about to do some flips outside of Vita Divina. Alright. Talk to y'all later.